The Galactic Academy floated in the darkness of space like a giant silver flower. It was the most famous school in the entire galaxy. Students from more than 100 different planets came here to learn. They studied science, history, and the secrets of the universe. It was a place of wonder and discovery. Sat in the back row of the enormous lecture hall. She was 23 years old, with black hair tied in a simple ponytail and dark brown eyes that watched everything carefully. She wore the standard gray uniform of the academy, but on her sleeve was a small patch that no other student had. It showed a blue and green planet, Earth, her home. She was the first human to ever attend this school. The journey from Earth had taken 3 months. She had left behind her family, her friends, and everything she knew. But she wanted to learn. She wanted to see what was out there among the stars. And most importantly, she wanted to show the galaxy what humans could do. The lecture hall was filled with strange and wonderful beings. To her left sat a creature that looked like a walking jellyfish, its body glowing soft blue. To her right was something like a giant praying mantis, its eyes reflecting the light from the holographic displays. In front of her, a being made entirely of floating rocks whispered to its friend, a tall creature covered in soft purple fur. None of them talked to. They looked at her sometimes with curiosity, sometimes with confusion. Humans were new to the galaxy. The Federation had only discovered Earth 5 years ago. Most aliens had never seen a human before. They did not know what to think of her. Professor entered the room and everyone became quiet. She was beautiful in a strange way. Her body was made of living crystal, clear and shining like diamond. When she moved, light danced through her form and created tiny rainbows on the walls. She was tall, almost 2 meters, and she walked with the confidence of someone who knew she was important. Her species was famous throughout the galaxy. They were considered the greatest survivors, the toughest beings ever to evolve. Every student knew the stories. They had clawed their way up from a dangerous world and conquered the stars. "Good morning, students," said. Her voice was like wind chimes, musical and clear. "Today we discuss one of the most fascinating topics in xenobiology." She waved her crystalline hand, and the holographic display came to life. It showed a planet covered in storms and lightning. Explained, is a planet where the conditions are so dangerous, so hostile, that intelligent life should never be able to evolve. The gravity is too strong. The weather is too violent. The predators are too deadly. Everything about these worlds says that thinking creatures cannot survive there. The students listened with great attention. This was a popular topic. Everyone loved hearing about. They were like horror stories from nature itself. "In the entire history of the Galactic Federation," continued, her voice growing proud, "only one species has ever evolved on a true and risen to reach the stars." She paused for dramatic effect. The crystals of her body glowed brighter. The classroom filled with soft sounds of agreement. The jellyfish creature pulsed with admiration. The mantis being clicked its approval. Everyone knew this story. They were special. They were unique. They were the galaxy's greatest survivors. Frowned. She raised her hand slowly. Professor noticed the movement. Her crystal eyes turned toward the back of the room. "Yes, the human is it." "Yes, Professor," said. Her voice was calm and polite. "I have a question." "Go ahead." "You said they are the only species from but I was wondering." Paused. She looked around at all the alien faces watching her. "Have you ever heard the name Earth?" Tilted her head. The crystals made a soft tinkling sound. "Earth? I do not recognize that name. What classification is your child?" "I think there might be a mistake in your records," said. "Earth is not classified as but it should be." A few students made sounds like laughter. The purple-furred creature turned to look at with what might have been pity. The poor human did not understand. She was trying to compare her little world to the legendary. How silly. Smiled kindly. It was the smile of a teacher being patient with a confused student. I appreciate your planetary pride, young one. Many species feel there is special, but classification requires very specific criteria: extreme gravity, severe atmospheric conditions, dangerous native life. I am sure your Earth is a lovely place, but— May I show the class? Interrupted. The room became very quiet. Interrupting a professor was not done. It was rude. The other students stared at with shock, but was curious now. This small, soft-looking creature had confidence. That was interesting. Very well, said, show us your Earth. Stood up, she pulled out her and connected it to the main display. Her fingers moved quickly across the screen. She had prepared for this moment. She had known, somehow, that this day would come. This is Earth, she said. The holographic display changed. It showed a planet of blue and green covered in swirling white clouds. It looked peaceful, beautiful, harmless. Then began showing the numbers. And the classroom began to scream. A student from a low-gravity world made a choking sound. Its body, which looked like a floating balloon with tentacles, began to sink toward the floor. 1 full G, it whispered. Constant, all the time. Yes, said simply. We are born in it, we live in it, we exercise in it to make our bodies stronger. Professor stared at the number. Her crystalline form flickered with colors that did not recognize. On Prime, gravity was only 0.7 G. They had always believed this was heavy. It was one of the reasons they considered themselves so tough. But Earth was heavier, much heavier. Continue, said quietly. The next number appeared. Axial tilt, 23.5 degrees. The mantis creature made a sound of horror. That means seasons, extreme seasons. The temperature changes throughout the year. Yes, confirmed. In some places on Earth it can be 40 degrees in summer and -30 in winter. The same location, same city, different times of year. 70-degree variation, someone shouted. How do you survive? We wear different clothes. The classroom erupted in confused noise. Different clothes. That was the solution to 70 degrees of temperature change. These humans were insane. The next number made things worse. Surface water, 71%. 71% of your planet is covered in water, asked. Her voice was shaking now. We call them oceans, said. They are very deep. The deepest part is almost 11 kilometers down. The pressure there would crush most spacecraft. And this water, it is monoxide H2O. Yes. The purple-furred creature stood up suddenly. Its fur was standing on end, making it look twice its normal size. That is a universal solvent, it cried. It dissolves almost everything. Your entire planet is covered in one of the most dangerous chemicals in the universe. We drink it, said. We need about 2 liters every day to survive. We also swim in it, for fun. The creature sat down hard. It looked like it might faint. Professor raised a crystalline hand for silence. The classroom slowly became quiet, though many students were still shaking or making distressed sounds. The atmosphere, said. Tell us about your atmosphere. Nodded, the next number appeared. Oxygen content, 21%. This time, several students did faint. The jellyfish creature turned from blue to bright red in alarm. 2 security robots entered the room automatically, detecting the distress signals from multiple students. 21% oxygen, repeated. She sounded like she did not believe it. That is a combustion atmosphere. Your very air can catch fire. It does, agreed. We have things called wildfires. They can burn for weeks, sometimes months. They destroy thousands of kilometers of land. And you breathe this fire air. Every few seconds. If we stop for more than a few minutes, we die. The classroom was in chaos now. Students were crying, praying to their various gods, or trying to leave. The security robots were moving between them, offering medical assistance and calm words. but nothing could calm them. They had just learned that the small, soft-looking human in the back row came from a nightmare world. Walked closer to, she moved slowly, carefully, as if approaching a dangerous animal. "What else?" she asked. "What else is on your world?" Thought for a moment. There was so much to tell. Where should she even begin? "We have natural disasters," she said. "Earthquakes that shake the ground and collapse buildings. Tsunamis, which are giant waves that can destroy entire cities. Hurricanes, massive storms that can be hundreds of kilometers wide. Tornadoes that spin so fast they lift houses into the air. Volcanic eruptions that cover the land in fire and ash." She paused. The classroom was completely silent now. Even the fainted students had been revived and were listening in frozen horror. "We have millions of species of animals," continued. "Many of them are predators. Sharks in the ocean with rows of teeth that grow back when they fall out. Bears that can weigh 700 kilograms and run faster than most humans. Crocodiles that have not changed in millions of years because they are already perfect killing machines. Snakes with venom that can kill in minutes. Spiders with venom that can dissolve flesh." "Stop," someone begged. "Please stop." But was not finished. "We also have microscopic life. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, billions of different types. They live everywhere, in the water, in the air, in the soil, inside our own bodies. Some of them help us. Many of them try to kill us. They evolve constantly, becoming stronger, finding new ways to attack us. We fight them with medicine, but they adapt. It is an endless war." Professor had stopped moving. She stood in the middle of the classroom like a statue made of ice. Her crystalline body had turned pale, almost white. "How?" she whispered. "How are you still alive? How did your species survive?" Smiled. It was a small smile, tired and knowing. "We are very stubborn," she said, "and we refuse to die." The lecture hall was silent for a long time after that. Professor canceled the rest of the class that day. She said she needed time to process the new information. The truth was, she needed time to stop shaking. The next morning, the lecture hall was more crowded than ever. Word had spread through the academy like fire. Students who had never taken xenobiology suddenly wanted to attend. They stood in the aisles and sat on the floor. They wanted to see the human. They wanted to hear more about the impossible world called Earth. Arrived to find hundreds of eyes watching her. She walked to her usual seat in the back row, but Professor stopped her. "Please," said, "sit at the front today. I have questions. The class has questions." Nodded and took a seat in the first row. She felt strange being the center of attention. On Earth, she had been ordinary, just a student, just a girl from a small town near the mountains. But here, among the stars, she was something else entirely. "I spent last night researching your species," began. Her voice was calm now, controlled. She had prepared herself. "I found something in your history that I need you to explain, something called persistence hunting." Nodded. She had expected this question. "A long time ago," she said, "before we had tools or weapons, our ancestors needed to eat. But we were not the fastest animals. We were not the strongest. We did not have sharp claws or big teeth, so we developed a different strategy." She stood up and walked to the holographic display. With a few touches, she showed an image of an ancient human and an antelope. "We would find an animal we wanted to eat. Then we would follow it, not chase it, just follow, walk after it, hour after hour, day after day if necessary." The purple-furred student raised a paw. "But the animal would run away. It would escape." "Yes, it would run," agreed. "But running makes you hot. Most animals cool down by panting, but that does not work well when you are running. So the animal would run, then stop to cool down, and we would keep walking, closer and closer. Then it would run again and stop again, and we would keep coming." She showed a series of images: a human walking under the hot sun, an antelope running, then stopping, then running again. The human never stopping, never resting, just walking, walking, walking. "Eventually," said, The animal could not run anymore. Its body would overheat. Its legs would fail. It would collapse. And we would be there, still walking, still coming. We would catch it and eat it. The classroom was very quiet. "You ran animals to death," said slowly. "You walked them into exhaustion and then killed them." "Yes, that is terrifying." Shrugged, "We had to eat." A small creature that looked like a hamster with 6 legs raised one tiny paw. "How did you not overheat too? How did you keep going?" "We sweat," explained. "Water comes out of our skin when we are hot. When the water evaporates, it cools us down. We can regulate our body temperature while moving. Most animals cannot do this as well as we can." "You evolved a cooling system so you could hunt by exhaustion," said. She sounded amazed and horrified at the same time. "We also have very efficient lungs," added, "and our legs are designed for long-distance movement. A trained human can run for many hours without stopping. Some humans run races that are 100 kilometers long. For fun." "For fun," someone squeaked. At that moment, the door to the lecture hall opened. A tall young man walked in. He had short black hair, a strong jaw, and the confident walk of an athlete. He wore the same gray uniform as, with the same earth patch on his sleeve. "Sorry I am late," he said. "My shuttle was delayed." "Ah," Professor said. "The second human, please come in. Your name is—" The young man said. He smiled warmly at the class. Many students leaned away from that smile. They had learned to fear human teeth. "Sat next to, what did I miss?" he whispered. "Persistence hunting." "Ah, good topic." He noticed all the students staring at him. "What?" "They are scared of us," said. Looked surprised. "Really, we are not scary." Professor made a sound that might have been laughter. "Not scary. Young man, your species hunts by exhaustion, breathes fire air, drinks universal solvent, and lives on a planet that is trying to kill you in 100 different ways. How are you not scary?" "Thought about this, I guess, when you put it that way." "Tell them about our mouths," suggested. Grinned. "Oh right, our mouths. So humans are technically venomous." The classroom made sounds of distress. "Our saliva contains hundreds of types of bacteria," explained. "If a human bites you, even if the wound is small, there is a good chance it will become infected. In ancient times, some warriors used this on purpose. They would bite their enemies, then wait for the infection to spread." "You are biological weapons," a student said weakly. "We are survivors," corrected gently. "Everything about us is designed to help us survive. We did not choose to be this way. Evolution made us this way. Earth made us this way." Professor sat down heavily in her chair. Her crystalline body made a soft clinking sound. "The Federation classified your species as Category 3, harmless herbivore level. They clearly made a mistake." "A very big mistake," agreed cheerfully. "But do not worry, we are friendly." He smiled again. This time more students noticed his teeth, flat in the front for tearing, sharp on the sides for cutting, strong in the back for grinding. The teeth of an omnivore, the teeth of a creature that could eat almost anything. The teeth of Earth. In the weeks that followed and became the most famous students at the Galactic Academy, everywhere they went, other students watched them. Some watched with fear. Some watched with curiosity. A few brave ones watched with admiration. The two humans tried to live normal lives. They went to classes. They ate in the cafeteria. They studied in the library, but nothing was normal anymore. They were celebrities. They were mysteries. They were monsters in soft skin. One afternoon was eating lunch alone when a young approached her table. The crystalline being was smaller than Professor, probably still a child by their standards. Its body glowed with nervous yellow light. "Excuse me," the young said. "May I sit with you?" Smiled. "Of course. What is your name?" "My name is Trill." The young alien sat down carefully as if afraid might attack. "I have questions, if that is okay." "Ask anything you want." Trill's crystals flickered. Is it true that humans consume poison for pleasure? Thought about this. What kind of poison do you mean? I heard that you drink something called coffee. The files say it contains a chemical that would kill most species. Caffeine said, yes, we drink it every day. It helps us wake up in the morning. It makes us feel more alert. And capsaicin, the chemical weapon. Laughed, we put that on our food. We call it spicy. Some humans eat competitions to see who can eat the most. Trill stared at her. Why? It tastes good, and it is fun to challenge ourselves. You eat chemical weapons for fun. When you say it like that, it sounds strange. Took a bite of her food. But yes, we do. Trill was quiet for a moment. Then it asked, are you going to hurt us? The other students are afraid. They think humans might be dangerous. Put down her fork. She looked at the young with gentle eyes. Trill, I want to tell you something important. Humans are dangerous. That is true. We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We became strong because we had to be strong. We became tough because weakness meant death. Trill's crystals turned pale. But continued, being dangerous does not mean we want to hurt anyone. We learned a long time ago that fighting each other only brings pain. We spent thousands of years at war with ourselves. Millions of humans died in those wars. It was terrible. It was stupid. And finally, we learned. What did you learn? That cooperation is better than conflict. That kindness is stronger than cruelty. That the best way to survive is not to destroy your enemies, but to make them your friends. Appeared and sat down next to. He had a tray piled high with food. Are we having a deep conversation? I love deep conversations. Trill asked if humans are dangerous, said. Oh, very dangerous, agreed. He bit into something that looked like purple bread. But we choose not to be. That is the important part. Trill looked confused. I do not understand. If you are dangerous, how can you choose not to be? Swallowed his food and leaned forward. Let me tell you about my grandmother. She lived through a war when she was young, a terrible war. She saw things that no one should ever see. She lost friends. She lost family. She almost lost herself. His voice became quieter, softer. After the war, she could have become bitter, angry. She could have spent her whole life hating the people who hurt her, but she did not. She chose to be kind. She chose to forgive. She spent the rest of her life helping others, teaching children, building community. She turned her pain into purpose. Why? Trill asked. Because that is what humans do. We suffer, we struggle, we face terrible things, and then we choose what to do with that pain. My grandmother chose love. Most humans choose love. It is harder than hate, but it is better. Nodded, we have a word in Korean, han. It is difficult to translate. It means a deep sadness, a sorrow that comes from suffering, but it also means hope. It means refusing to give up. It means taking all your pain and using it to become stronger, kinder, better. Han. Trill repeated, I like that word. It is the human soul, said. We are not dangerous because we are violent. We are dangerous because we never stop, we never give up. We face impossible odds and keep fighting, not to destroy, to survive, to protect what we love. That evening, Professor called into her office. The room was filled with plants from her, delicate crystalline flowers that chimed softly in the air currents. I have spent my career believing they were the toughest species in the galaxy, said. Now I know I was wrong. You are still tough, said kindly. Your world was difficult, your species is strong. But not like you, looked at them with something like respect. The Federation classified you as harmless. They thought your soft bodies and friendly smiles meant you were weak. They did not understand. Understand what? Asked. That the smile is a choice, that the softness is a gift you give to others, that underneath, you are the most dangerous species we have ever encountered. Paused. And also perhaps the most wonderful. Felt warmth spread through her chest. It was nice to be understood. "We are not here to conquer," she said. "We are here to learn, to grow, to make friends. Earth taught us how to survive. Now we want to learn how to live, truly live, among the stars with all of you." Nodded slowly. "Then welcome to the galaxy, children of Earth. We have much to learn from each other." The final exam of the semester arrived on a cold space morning. The stars outside the academy windows seemed to shine brighter than usual, or maybe was just imagining things. She was nervous, not about the exam itself, but about what came after. Soon, the semester would end. She would have to decide what to do next. The lecture hall was full. Every seat was taken. Students sat in the aisles, stood against the walls, and even floated near the ceiling. This was the last class with the humans. Everyone wanted to be there. Professor stood at the front of the room. She looked different somehow. Calmer, more peaceful. Her crystalline body glowed with soft colors that had learned meant contentment. "Before we begin the exam," said, "I want to share something with you. When this semester started, I asked you to study what makes species unique. I expected essays about our strength, our resilience, our survival." She paused and looked at and instead, I received papers about humans. The classroom made sounds of agreement. Many students had written about Earth, about persistence hunting, about the fire air and the universal solvent, about creatures who drank poison and ate chemical weapons for pleasure. "I was surprised at first," continued. "Then I was curious. Then I was humbled, because you, my students, understood something that took me much longer to learn." She walked to the center of the room. "The survived are by becoming hard. We grew crystal armor. We sharpened ourselves against the dangers of our world. We became weapons." She turned to the humans. "But humans did something different. They became soft." Confused murmurs filled the room. Soft skin, soft hearts, soft voices. From the outside, humans look weak, fragile, harmless. But this softness is not weakness. It is a choice. It is a strategy. Humans became soft on the outside so they could remain strong on the inside. Showed a list on the holographic display. Human survival adaptations. Adrenaline response. In moments of danger, humans can temporarily become stronger and faster. They can ignore pain. They can perform impossible acts of survival. Healing factor. Human bones repair themselves when broken. Their skin grows back when damaged. Their bodies fight infection constantly. Immune system. Humans carry armies inside their blood. Millions of cells dedicated to destroying invaders. These armies learn and adapt. Emotional bonding. Humans form deep connections with each other. They will die to protect their loved ones. This creates groups that fight as one. Creativity. When faced with problems, humans invent solutions. They are never defeated permanently. They always find another way. But the most important adaptation, said, is not on this list. It cannot be measured by science. It cannot be seen under a microscope. She looked at the two humans with something like love. Empathy. Humans feel the pain of others as if it were their own. A species born in constant danger, surrounded by death, facing extinction every generation. And they learn to care about each other. They learn to care about strangers. They even learn to care about other species. Trill, the young who had befriended, raised a crystalline hand. "Professor, I have a question." "Yes, Trill." "If humans are so strong, why do they not conquer everyone? Why do they not rule the galaxy?" Smiled and gestured toward. "Perhaps you should answer that." Stood up slowly. She felt the weight of hundreds of eyes on her. For a moment she did not know what to say. Then she thought about her home, her family, the mountains near her town, the way the sun set over the rice fields. "On Earth," she began, "we have seen what conquest brings. We have conquered each other many times. We took land, we took resources, we took lives. And every time we learned the same lesson. Conquest does not bring peace. It brings more war, more pain, more death." She walked forward until she stood beside Professor. We are tired of conquest. We are tired of war. We did not come to the stars to fight. We came to learn, to grow, to find friends, to discover wonders we never imagined. The galaxy is so big, so beautiful. Why would we want to destroy any part of it? Stood up too. Also, have you seen the food here? So many new things to try. Why conquer a planet when you can just trade recipes? Laughter rippled through the classroom. It was strange and wonderful to hear aliens laugh. Every species laughed differently. Together, it sounded like music. After the exam, students gathered around, and there were no more fearful looks, no more nervous distance. The students wanted to talk. They wanted to know more about Earth, about humans, about these strange, soft, terrible, wonderful creatures. Trill pushed through the crowd and stopped in front of. "I have decided something," the young said. "What is that?" "I want to visit Earth someday. I want to see the oceans, the mountains, the creatures. I want to understand why your world made you the way you are." Smiled, it was a warm smile full of genuine joy. "You would be welcome, Trill, but I must warn you, Earth is dangerous." "I know," Trill said, "but so are humans, and you turned out okay." Later that evening and sat on the observation deck. The galaxy spread out before them, billions of stars burning in the endless dark. Somewhere out there, far away, a small blue planet orbited a yellow sun. Home. "Do you think they will stop being afraid of us?" asked. "Watch the stars. Fear fades. What replaces it is up to us. Then let us replace it with something good." "Yes," agreed, "something good." They sat together in comfortable silence. Two small humans, two children of Earth, two ambassadors of a species that had clawed its way up from darkness and learned to choose light. And somewhere in the vast, cold universe, the story of Earth's impossible children continued to spread, not as a warning, not as a threat, but as a promise. That even from the harshest worlds, even from the deepest darkness, something beautiful could grow, something kind, something hopeful, something human.